wherever you're listening, however you're listening. We're glad that you are listening to this week's Behind the G, your podcast for Red Elephants by Red Elephants. I'm Katie B, joined as always by my co-host and partner in non-felonious crime, Gainesville Athletic Director Adam Lindsay. How's your week been?
It's been good. It's our first full week back, and things are hot and heavy and going. So
Yeah. No home events this week, which is kind of weird because we were like slammed with them last week.
Yeah, it's either feast or famine right now.
So good week so far. All I can think about is that Adam just spilled his water, not on our equipment, but in the proximity of the equipment. It was a very loud spillage, a lot of ice.
Great, now everybody's going to know about it. And I'm going to hit me up in my DMs, making fun of me.
Hit you up in your DMs. They slide into your DMs like that water slid off this table.
I don't even have DMs. So.
That'd be sliding in Go Red Elephants DMs. As per usual, we got a great show for you lined up, folks. Big Red's running man, Rich Corbett, will join us. And be ready, because he's going to drop some surprises on you. They were surprises to me. He dropped some stuff on us because, much like his cross-country runners, the conversation hits all the trails. I'm in a punny mood today.
You are, and a lot of them I don't catch, but you are. There's no doubt
I'm in
about
a bit of a punny mood today. But yeah, Rich Corbett going to be on with us. Rejuvenated Rich. He is back in his element, feeling good. Got a good team. I think he says 25 boys, 25 girls, if I'm correct about that. And they've got their first meet this coming weekend. So we're excited to see what they can produce. Volleyball, softball got to it last week, had some home matches, and then volleyball had their queen of the court this past Saturday. They ended up winning the silver bracket. I think they went 2-2 over the course of the day. Softball struggled out of the gate, but with Brad Prestridge in charge, they'll be fine. Your initial thoughts on those two entities?
So they both kind of had tough starts to the season. Obviously, softball, perennially struggles. I mean, we're not letting out any secrets there. So I think it all boils down to pitching and making sure you're solid up the middle. And we're struggling, but those girls are coming out every day and giving their best. So. Hopefully they just continue to progress and get better over the season. I mean, our region is no joke. So
in any sport.
Yeah, in any sport.
Female sports especially.
100%. Yeah. So, the region schedule will be tough. So that's why it's important for them to get out and really kind of work out some kinks in their non-region schedules. So, hopefully, we can get in the win column next week. Didn't work out for us this week.
Yeah.
Volleyball was fun to be able to watch them, play at home twice last week. One was the tri match with Cherokee Bluff, which we won. And then on our split match with Jefferson and Commerce, we lost. Jefferson beat Commerce. So, but over the weekend, as you mentioned, they won the silver bracket in the Queen of the Court, which is always a tough competition. But it's they're also kind of fighting with everything that's been going on with Coach LeCurve and her trying to get her way back. She was in this week a little bit. You can always when she's in the building. She lets you know real quick. So she seems to be doing better, and I know she's planning on. She's planning on being at their match tonight, so that's good. I'm glad to have her back, and I know that that'll add another spark to the team just to have her back.
No doubt. And it doesn't matter. At least in my limited experience with a head coach being out, it doesn't matter how many seniors you have, the level of leadership you have. When you're talking about a voice like Christina LeCurve's, it's missed.
Yep.
It's going to be missed, and things are going to get missed as a result of that voice not being there. Because not only has Coach LeCurve not been able to be at matches, she hasn't been able to be at school or practice.
Correct. Yeah.
So her voice has been missed. And she's to your point, she's getting back to it and has made a point to say, here are the things that I know we need to get fixed because they've fallen off in the short time she's been gone.
Well, and when you talk about that, we talk about alpha males.
Yeah.
She is an alpha female.
Yep.
As I mentioned, when she walks in the room, she's there, but certainly with her team, they know where the buck ends with her. Mm-hmm. So whenever she's not there, a couple of different things can happen. The seniors can step up and hold the team to that line, or they cannot.
Yeah.
Other coaches can step up and hold them to the line, or they cannot. So, but there's never there's never a real good exchange for the head coach not being there.
Yeah.
So I know they're glad to have her back, and she's glad to be back. And I can imagine sitting at home is not fun for her or
No,
anybody else
no.
that's there. So
yeah, and you always need sticking with that a little bit. Every team needs that leader that's the good cop and that leader that's the bad cop.
Mm-hmm.
And when the good cop is the one that has to take over,
Yeah.
You miss some stuff.
I always say, you are what you allow to happen.
Yeah.
And if you're not there to hold people to the line, then they take liberties and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I go back to my senior year of high school. East Hall was opening up what you all know now is just its gym, but back then it was its brand new gym. And it was the night they were opening that gym up. And of course they were playing Gainesville that night.
Mm-hmm.
And my head coach, Karen Mullis, who is from Dublin.
Ireland?
No. Same place Adam Miller's from. She had to go. Actually, I think she went to Metter High School. But anyway, she had to go home and couldn't get back up here because she would fly home and then her dad would fly her back up here. And he was a big farmer and had one of those, So anyway,
it wasn't Ireland.
It was not Ireland. But she couldn't get back up here, and she was not going to be at the game against East Hall. Now she had been at all of our practices and all those kinds of things. She was not going to be at the game, and I was a very good athlete here and had already signed my college scholarship, and was well on my way to doing things. But I took my role within Gainesville athletics very, very seriously, and of course, when you're playing against East Hall at that time in our history, standing room only gyms, and people were lined up for hours before the game for the JV game to get their spot for the girls and boys games. It was a big deal, especially with them opening up a new gym. And I forgot my shoes. It's the only time I've ever done anything like that. We get to East Hall's gym, and I go to get dressed. I start getting dressed. I had a very set in stone ritual that I did before every game, and I go to get dressed, and I was like, uh-oh. Never done anything like that. But that's just my point. Like, even as prepared as we were, as she'd been at every practice, she just wasn't at this one little moment. It still messed to the point where I forgot my shoes. Yeah, it throws you off. So anyway, all that said, I know the girls have missed Christina for more reasons than just it's their coach and they love her. And so getting her back in the building and in front of those girls only means upward trajectory for our volleyball team. Football has its first scrimmage, or its only scrimmage, I should say, tomorrow night at Harrison in Kennesaw. What are your thoughts about football as it stands?
Well, just to be honest, I'm very excited to see what it turns out to be.
Yeah.
It's our first look at the Coach Bryan era. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that'll be the same. There's a lot of things that'll be different. And I think, Harrison is, perennially they're a decent program. So I think it'll be a good, warm up and get us ready for the heat, get us ready for the competition that'll come the next week. A little side note: this is kind of the funny thing about playing Harrison. Their head coach, Luke Monsalam, I coached in high school.
Oh, wow.
That means I'm old.
If that was your first indication.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Not the fact that you eat dinner at 5 every night.
I mean, hey, we got to do what we got to do. No, but so that'll be fun to go over there and see him. Harrison, it'll be interesting to see. I remember my first coaching job was at Campbell, and Harrison was in our region, so we played them. And they have a tradition there, and again, it'll be interesting to see if they still do it. When the visiting team gets off the bus, you get off the bus behind the visiting stands, and they time it up to where their team runs out of the locker room onto the field on their side and starts going into all these chants and warm-up drills that they do, and they want to be loud and obnoxious. They want you staring at them. So I always remember that from my days at Campbell and other schools we went and played them, that you had to tell the kids, like, hey, don't look at them when you get off the bus.
Heads down,
they're
boys.
going to try to intimidate you as soon as you get off the bus. So it'll be interesting to see if they're still doing that. It's just, that's always one of my memories from Harrison. And then the visiting team has a long walk to the locker room up in the building.
We seem to do that a lot with our opponents at long walks.
I don't know if they think that's going to help them.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a fun night to see all of our kids that,
no doubt.
We see them day in and day out bust their butt in the weight room out on the field, and it's gonna be fun to see them get to do what they love to do, and to see what see where we are, see where we're at, and so Friday, everybody will be excited about Friday like it's a real Friday night. It is not. It is a practice. Chances are, the varsity kids will just play the first half. JV kids will play the second half. The score after the half really won't mean much.
Right.
And really the score doesn't mean much anyway, because it's, again, everybody is looking at that game or that scrimmage about, what can we learn? How can we prepare ourselves for the season? What situations can we put our kids in to see how they react when it matters? Right. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you've done all summer or what you've done in fall camp and that kind of stuff. It matters what you do when we turn the lights on. And, there may be, there may be situations or players that worked all summer and don't work in a game. You've got to figure out those things, and that's what the scrimmage is all about.
Excited to see our boys get back to it. Adam and I are sitting in his office right now. It's Thursday morning, so high school football officially kicked off last night with the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic. 2 matchups, South Gwinnett and Lanier, and then Grayson and North Gwinnett. I don't think either game really went the way I was expecting it to go. Both were entertaining, though. I mean, I guess it was good to see South Gwinnett be all right at something. Yeah. In spite of them doing it against Lanier.
I just got to say, and I obviously I look at those games from a completely different. I mean, I'll say this about the 2 matchups real quickly. Lanier and South Gwinnett, not very good football programs.
Yeah.
And then you got the Grayson North Gwinnett. That's really what everybody wanted to watch.
Right.
But my point is, I look at those 2 teams, and this is what people may not know. They charge each team $45,000 to play in that game. And when I looked in the stands, there wasn't enough money up there to make up that.
No.
In either game.
Right.
And again, if you weren't paying attention, you didn't notice, they shut down the away team's side. So there was nobody sitting on the away side. So everybody was on the home side, and there weren't very many people there. Playing a high school football game on a Wednesday where you got to drive down into Atlanta, you probably have to buy a $25, $30 ticket. There were 4 teams last night that paid a lot of money to go play that game and lost their butt financially.
Yeah, no doubt. Because I also don't it's just on local it's not even a regionally televised thing. It's just on local television, which they do a great job. Don't get me wrong. They do an excellent job. Brandon Adams and Rusty Manziel were fantastic as per usual. They do a fantastic job, but I just don't understand quite the money side of that.
I every year they call and beg us to play in it. They do. Like, the guy blows my phone up for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I'm just like, I'm not paying $45,000 to go play in Mercedes-Benz. No. We'll earn it and play at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we've had the opportunity to do that. And I will say this: I do think there is a part of doing that to be comfortable playing in the building, because I do think that came back to bite us when we did play in there. But it's not worth $45,000 to me.
Didn't they used to do these games though at one of the fields of the teams playing?
Well, so
would that make it more worth it? Or is 45,000 just a no?
They charge, so we did host the Corky Kell
2021
somewhere along those lines, and that cost both teams $10,000. So we still paid to host a home game, which is the $10,000 was easier to swallow. But again, even that, you have a team. Johns Creek came to play us. They paid $10,000 to go to an away game. They just threw that money out the door,
right?
And we paid $10,000 to host a game,
right?
The financial piece just doesn't make it worth it. Doesn't make it worth it to, at that point, we're hosting a game and basically all we're getting it on GPB, big whoop. I'm not sure that all the hype is worth it. I'm not sure that playing in Mercedes. I know that playing in Mercedes-Benz is not worth it. The format of how they're doing the Corky Kell it's changed every other year. Again, that's the thing, is I know for those guys that run it, it's about making money.
Yeah.
So they want to get as many games in as many places as they can, so they can make their dollar, and more power to them. The people that play in it, happy for you, but not us.
Yeah. The 45,000. I'm just really hung up on that number. That's a lot of money.
It is, and I just start thinking about the amount of things that money could be spent on, and would it be worth it? And honestly, our game versus Buford was originally part of that conversation. So they had reached out to me, and we were hemming and hawing about it again, just kind of not sure where our schedule was going to go. And they're like, "Hey, we can lock y'all in with Buford in week 1, playing in Mercedes-Benz. Y'all be the featured game," and blah blah blah. And I was just like, Buford's 20 minutes up the road. Like, we can play them at home and not spend a dime and make money.
And it would be an incredible atmosphere.
Yeah, and I was already having the conversations with ESPN at the time, trying to get on their schedule. So when I reached out to ESPN and said, "Hey, we got Buford in week 1, and they're like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
So like, and obviously ESPN a little bit bigger than GPB.
Well, sure.
So I mean, like, but when I started doing the math of like, what a game would be like playing Buford, like, why would we give them all that money as opposed to keeping it for ourselves?
No doubt.
Why would we spend $45,000 instead of make $45,000?
Yeah.
So that's what that whole thing boiled down to for us. So it doesn't. They try to talk to you about how they can make it make sense and how you can sell sponsorships. And I'm like, but if I'm going to spell sponsorship again, like, why would we? Why would we not keep that here? So again, I know there are people that will disagree with me, but paying to play in Mercedes-Benz and using our own sponsorship money to do that, it's never going to sit well with me, because I would rather be able to spend that money on our kids as opposed to going to play in Mercedes-Benz.
And that's how it should be. So we got John Corbett coming up next on the flip side of this break. And then we're going to come back and wrap things up. But we just discussed all the things, didn't we? We got it done. All right, folks. Corbett up next. This is Behind the G.
Winning on and off the field takes a solid game plan, and JT Stratford Wealth Management is here to help you plan with confidence. Proudly serving Gainesville for 30 years, JT Stratford combines customized financial and tax planning with 3 decades of commitment to our community to help individuals and families pursue their goals with confidence. Build your financial playbook with a team that's invested in your future and in the community we proudly call home. Visit jtstratford.com to learn more.
Located at 311 Green Street in downtown Gainesville, JT Stratford is a proud sponsor of the Red Elephants and Behind the G. JT Stratford LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training. This advertisement is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as personalized investment, tax, or legal advice. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Coming up this Saturday, the start of Gainesville cross-country season. Where? Athens Christian. What are they going to be competing in? The Northeast Georgia Cross Country Championships. Joining Behind the G now, the man in charge of it all. Really just our cross-country program, but he's been here long enough to possibly be in charge of it all. Coach Richard John Corbett. Is it Richard John?
John Richard.
John Richard.
Junior. I'm a junior.
Are you?
Yeah.
We just need to call him Junior from here on out.
It's changed.
It's Junior.
Coach Junior.
Coach Junior. So glad to have you on Behind the G with us. How's the start of school going for you?
Been amazing.
Yeah.
Been a great summer. A lot of commitment from the kids. Morning practices, something new we're trying.
Yeah.
Numbers are great. 25 boys, 25 girls.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. A lot of 9th and 10th graders.
So I was speaking to, as I am wont to do, I was speaking to Coach Lindsay. This is about 3 weeks ago when I started back to work. Again, let's reiterate. Adam Lindsay never gets off of work. I got a chance to have a break, and when I came back to work, ran into Coach Corbett because he also never takes a break. So he was here.
Yep.
Ran into Coach Corbett. And there was an incredible juxtaposition between the Coach Corbett that left school in May and the Coach Corbett that I came back to in July. And I said to Adam, man, it is so good to have that joyful human being back. Last year took a toll on you.
Yeah, a little bit.
You had some seniors that you were really relying on quit. Mm-hmm. That then kind of toyed with your emotions during track season and said they were coming back and then quit on you again?
No, they finished it up, but not having that summer, not having that cross country base, they just couldn't get back to where they should have been.
Could you feel the shift though in your mood after taking a little time off, even if, be it but a week? You took a little time off, came back. I'm telling you were a brand new human being.
Well, okay. I mean, as much as I hate to leave track, I'll still be a little bit behind the scenes supporting the coaches with track and helping in any way. I got to have those kids running well to be ready for summer and cross country. I think knowing that I can pour all my energy into the months leading up to November has really, given me an extra boost of energy.
Yeah.
We're trying a lot of new stuff with morning practices. The Wilshire Trail's lit up so we can get out there in the dark. That's been kind of the reason we didn't do it. And just having the commitment from the parents to get the kids here at 5 or at 6. I show up about 5:30, 5:45, and there's kids waiting outside the door for me. And
that's unreal.
To roll the dice on something like that, but it's paying off. I mean, I think we have 3 kids, 2 girls and 1 boy that are varsity runners that aren't able to get here, and they're running in the morning at home. So, the commitment's been amazing.
So you've mentioned the morning practices a few times. What was the decision to go to a morning practice this year?
Different decisions. Weather in the heat in August in the afternoon, we were getting shut down quite a bit by the wet bulb or by just the heat in general. Those practices took a wear and tear on the kids when we did get a practice in. So the recovery was a lot worse the next day. Wilshire Trail being lit allows us that access in the mornings. And once we get up on Green Street and in the neighborhoods, daylight's coming at about 6:30. Kids like Isabel Lee, she had to run during 6th period a little bit last year because of soccer. And now if that interferes with afternoon practice, we've gotten a practice in the morning. So, a lot of different factors. And really the confidence. We race in the morning. We leave at 6 in the morning.
That's what I was getting ready to go to, it just counterintuitive that typically cross-country teams practice in the afternoon, 4 to 6, let's say, but they run at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. So this kind of should fit. I mean, we should have high expectations for the cross-country program because they changed their practice schedule.
Well, and I mean, the fact that the kids are here at 6 a.m., we leave at 6 a.m. this Saturday.
It becomes normal. Their body makes that normal for them.
Yeah, and it's getting normal for me. I wake up before 5 now. So
that before 5 doesn't.
I'm just saying, you seem like a man though who doesn't really sleep.
I don't like to. They'll come.
I cannot relate.
No,
there'll come a time where I'm not going to be waking up at all. So,
wow, this took a turn.
We're in trouble now.
This took a turn.
I'm trying to enjoy every hour possible. I'm at 61, 62 soon. No, we did morning practices a couple of years ago with the crew that we had that could drive here, but we had to stay on the track. Wilshire was not lit. Those morning practices were really good, but it limited us. And, having one shower in the locker room, we've talked about that, but the guys have adapted to that. We've staggered the end of practice for a lot of the kids. The higher caliber kids, they're spending more time in the weight room while the locker room gets cleared from the shower. So they're not all sitting in there. We're utilizing that extra time. The new kids that are running less, they hit the showers first.
So as KDB mentioned, you definitely came back, over the summer with a rejuvenated mindset. How much of that had to do with a trip to Disney?
Yes.
For those of y'all that don't know, Coach Corbett doesn't do a whole lot of things with his life, but Disney is one of them.
Disney and Universal. And actually, that first dead week, we went up to Pennsylvania and hit Kings Island in Cincinnati. So I'm an amusement park fanatic.
Really?
I enjoy those. I do. I enjoy it. We don't go to Disney to ride the rides. We'll ride them, but we go to Disney that's kind of like our beach or mountain trip.
If you don't ride rides, what do you do?
We do ride rides. Well, there's
What's your favorite ride?
Oh, boy. Probably Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
Epcot.
See, I hadn't.
No. Is that at Universal?
Indoor? No, that's at Disney. Universal's got some good ones too.
The last time I went, Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't open. Hagrid's new ride had just opened.
Universal.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
But I really love Everest.
Yeah.
Where you go up. That's so good.
Backwards, yeah.
Oh, man.
So we moved from cross country to amusement parks.
Well, listen.
Look, my favorite ride is whichever one you can get back on the fastest.
Right. And that was Everest.
The funny thing is Dr. Williams and I have more conversations about our trips to Disney than we have conversations about anything else.
I don't know that I can do this show anymore. I'm suddenly very uncomfortable with our leadership.
Funny story real quick about Disney. So one year whenever my kids were younger, and you'll understand how much younger. So we went to Hollywood Studios, which was has become one of our favorites just because the Rock and Roller Coaster, and which I guess it may not be that anymore, and then the Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
Well, Avery was so small that she could walk under the little thing that tells you whether you're too tall or not. So we had to take her to the bathroom and stuff her shoes with napkins to build her up about half an inch.
Pretty smart.
Yeah. And so lady didn't say anything. We came right back, and all of a sudden she was tall enough.
Yeah,
she was
that's
tall
awesome.
enough. But that was a trip I'll never forget because, as I mentioned, a ride that you can get into multiple times, Tower of Terror, we probably rode it 15 times because you could get off and get right back on, and there wasn't an hour wait for it. So
that's one my wife doesn't do, so I rarely do it.
Tower of Terror.
Yeah, she doesn't like it.
The only time I rode Tower of Terror, my college basketball team, they was invited to play in a preseason tournament at Disney. It was a nationally renowned like the kinds of tournaments they have in the Bahamas now, right? Mm-hmm. So we go down to Disney, and we had gotten worked by North Dakota State, who was the defending national champions. And so we all went and got on Tower of Terror. I don't know if it was his retribution or what. It was the only time I rode it, though. And they have that picture they take. Mm-hmm. And I've still got it somewhere. Anyway, no point of that story other than relating to having been on Tower of Terror. And I hate that you don't ever ride it.
No, I do. I do occasionally.
Oh, yeah.
I let my wife sit it out.
I just am still on this whole, like, how we got to Disney is really
sorry. That was my fault.
Y'all use Disney. It's the excuse for me coming back with energy.
With energy, yeah. It was Mickey and me.
Well, but you do plan, you go a lot.
Yeah, we go about 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah, we go Christmas. Usually down there Christmas Day.
They have the annual pass.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
So-
their commitment.
We got it for Universal too. I mean, my dad lives down there. That gives me a
Yeah.
chance to see him every trip.
We were talking about
So we're not at Disney the whole time. I
Right.
mean, and you ask what we like. We like to just people watch,
Yeah.
eat food.
well, I mean, I'd love
Some
to go
other
down. I'd love to go down to
adult
Disney at some other Epcot. They don't do it at Epcot. So I would love to go down to Disney Halloween, Christmas, as you just mentioned. Just because I've heard, will you see? But it seems so festive.
It is.
And I would love that. But we were talking about your father the other day, and really comparing parental notes is what Coach Corbett and I were doing. Tell our audience listening in about your dad, because I find him to be, to me, I'm like, okay, this apple doesn't, cause the junior apple does not fall far from the
Coach
senior
Junior.
tree. Tell him about your dad.
Well, he's 85, lives in Winter Park, Florida, just outside of Orlando. Runs every day. Some days walks. Living on his own. His wife, my stepmom, is in assisted living just down the road. And he doesn't feel comfortable driving up here very often now. 500-mile drive at his age. He is going to come up in September, but he's going to break it into 2 days. I'm a junior. I lived with him in Houston, Texas when I was in college. We're pretty much alike. We look alike.
Yeah.
He got me in the business career I went into. He was a vice president marketing. I wound up in marketing as a category manager. So kind of followed his steps and then moved into this career at 50.
Is he available to coach our track team?
He actually, this is funny. He actually runs a running club down there called the Winter Park Dogs. He started way back, and I was actually living in Orlando back in the early 90s when he moved to Orlando. And that little club was just a fun running club, and he kind of ran it and still is part of it.
It's remarkable to me that you say he's not as comfortable driving up here at 85. Well, I'm not comfortable with my parents driving to the gas station at 80 and 83. And, just you can almost feel his energy just in your description of him.
Yeah.
And now knowing he has a running club called the Winter Park Dogs, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
He goes by.
Do they have an Instagram account?
We need to
Who
create
knows?
one for him.
He goes by OAD, Old Anal Dog. So
No, okay.
And
So
he
we're
is
going to
pretty-
move on.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to move
All
on.
right. So back to cross
Yeah.
country. So tell us, as you're going into your first meet of the year, what should we expect out of the boys and girls teams? Who are going to be our standout runners this year?
Well, we're wrapping up the talk of morning practice. We still do have afternoon practice. So these kids are getting a lot of volume. We're going to be running tired early season, and that's by design. We're not going to take the days off to taper back for the first meet of the season. We'll run with a little strategy in the first meet, try to run as a pack. We're kind of fly under the radar. You know, if we wind up real successful, that's great. But I'm keeping expectations down a little bit. But I think our boys team, very deep. A lot of really good runners. John Jessup, old runner, stopped by yesterday. We were really impressed with the guys. Always good to see the alumni swing by. But I think the girls, we might be a year away from being really good. We got 2 really good 8th graders coming up. And the team's mostly 9th and 10th graders. We've got a couple of seniors. I mean, out of 45 kids, we have 5 seniors. So I poured
That's
a lot
great.
of I poured a lot of attention into the 8th graders last year. When you know, the frustrations y'all were talking about earlier, you know, it was a rebuild year, and we took it that way. And I put a lot of emphasis on the 8th graders. I'll tell you, 2 years ago, I sat with 13 8th graders and only had 2 show up. Last year, about 15 8th graders, and all 15 are here.
That's awesome.
It makes, when you talk about my energy level, that helps.
Yeah.
And then, you know, showing up here at 6 o'clock in the mornings when they know they got to shower and still go to school, seeing just about every one of them out there every morning is pretty motivating for, I think, Coach Koldoff and myself.
Yeah, and I would think, you know, especially the longer you are in a sport coaching it, you get a little jaded, you certainly get fatigued, and anytime new energy is brought in that can rejuvenate that spirit that made you want to start coaching to begin with, and it's got to help tremendously. And it feels as though that has happened with you, thanks to these middle schoolers who have stayed the course, pun intended, who have stayed the course and are, you know, fully committed to being runners for Gainesville High School.
Yeah, and we've got some good middle school coaches. You know, Coach Foster, Coach McIntosh, Coach Schultz. They put a lot of time in. So, you know, Coach Schultz is waiting on them. Now that he's working across the 100 yards away.
Yeah.
It's kind of good to have him there to greet him. But, you know, Coach Koldoff, he's like the good cop. I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know, I get to yell at the kids and everything else. He kind of eases things, and he kind of tapers me back. You know, he's like, Coach, remember, it's just August. Just August.
I love it, though.
I sometimes get a little too motivated.
Yeah. Well, and listen, but that's why you're the head junior in charge, right?
Well, Coach Lindsay was out there, you know, he's out there walking laps, and I'm having to yell at the guys because they're running too fast. And that's pretty nice to have.
That's a nice thing. Yeah, that's a good problem. That's a good problem. So for each of our guests that we have on, and this is your first time on this season, Coach, but you will be on again as the cross-country season goes along. With each of our guests, we like to ask some off-the-cuff questions. We end our segment with our guests with these questions. Call it the starting 5. I can't think. With Larry Miller, we called it the drum line. We like to adjust. Yeah. For you, we'll call it the top 5 because that's what you're interested in when you're running is the top 5. But these are thought-provoking questions. We're giving you actually no time to think about. So enjoy. And whatever happens.
I didn't have a whole lot of time to talk about Disney or to think about Disney. Threw that one at me.
Yeah. We'll bring Disney back up later. When's your next trip planned?
Christmas.
Okay, fantastic. Well, then we'll have to talk to him. That'll be one of our Christmas things.
Yeah, absolutely.
one of our shows at Christmas. All right. What's a movie you can practically recite word for word?
Ooh, I don't know that I should say this, but Dazed and Confused.
That does not surprise me one
Love
single
that
That
movie.
is
Love that
absolutely
movie.
me too.
1976. I mean, I was coming middle school about that time. I mean, I can relate to that movie all the way
She
through.
wasn't born.
So I was born when it came out.
Well, season 76. It was
Yeah,
at
but
76.
I'm saying though the time frame it is. However,
The music was great in the movie.
Yeah.
the beginning of the movie where the upcoming seniors, the girls,
Yeah.
have the upcoming freshmen on the ground and they tell them to fry, right, like bacon. They use more colorful language. They tell them to fry like bacon and have. We did that with the upcoming freshmen when we were upcoming seniors just because of the movie.
Well,
It's a great movie.
We had that stuff in high school. We had freshmen that had to jump in this dirty lake called Bishop Lake. I mean, that's why I can relate to that movie. It was pretty realistic. We didn't have paddles hitting kids.
That'd be weird.
Yeah. But I mean, we've got kind of that stuff right now with our, senior Izzy Allgood, who sat out last year.
Yeah.
She's back, and she's really taken a leadership role with all the young girls.
That's fantastic.
Doing amazing. The girls have a great time. The guys are having a great time. I think those morning practices we were talking about are allowing a bond to develop that didn't develop all the time with afternoon practices.
Nothing can bring a team together like suffering.
Yeah, they're suffering at 6 a.m. They're going through the struggle together.
Nothing brings a team together like that. What was your first concert?
Oh boy. I think, I think it might have been, I don't know, Six Flags back in the day. In the early 80s, had concerts constantly. And Six Flags was a different park back then, and I lived in Cobb County, so it was easy to go to. Mother's Finest, saw them there. Joan Jett, saw them there. Just a lot of different concerts. I can't even remember what the first one was.
The more you speak, the more I like you.
Well, I'll tell you, I went to a lot of concerts with the two brothers who went on to form the Black Crowes. They were Richie and Chris Robinson. They were at Walton at the time. And
are we being serious right now?
Yeah. Chris Robinson was the point guard on the basketball team. Richie was a musician. And my best friend was on the basketball team, too. So I think we saw the Gap Band. We saw a lot of bands back then. Atlanta had a lot of concerts.
You realize you just threw out into the podcast stratosphere. I don't know what you call us, but into this realm we're in that you used to chill with
Well, I mean, they weren't the Black Crowes at the time.
Yeah, no kidding. Holy cow.
I mean, I saw them a lot in concert, but lost touch with them over the years.
Oh, too bad, because I was about to say that our Behind the G is about to take a dramatic turn. We would like to welcome on the show the Black Crowes. Dramatic turn.
Task. That's your task.
So for those of you not in the know when it comes to Coach John Richard Corbett, he used to moonlight at Publix. I told you, he does not stop working, and he rarely sleeps. If he's not at Disney or working at Publix, he is here, and he's here all the time. He recently quit his job at Publix just because he did need more time to himself. However, you could find him on Sundays at the Publix on Thompson Bridge Road. And I found him there many a Sunday. Why? Because that's when I do my shopping.
And when I'm in Publix and I can't find something, I just call him.
Called him, absolutely. I would always see him in the dairy aisle. But nonetheless, Coach Corbett, I lost my question. Hold on. Uh-oh. What is the absolute weirdest food combination you secretly enjoy?
Boy, I enjoy all the food. I mean, it's not a secret or anything. I eat everything. One of the students in my special ed class asked me what my favorite food was. I said, everything. I mean, I don't have
discriminate.
I don't know. KDB, I really don't have
You don't have a strange food combination?
No. I mean, I eat traditional foods. Last night was chicken, rice, and gravy. I mean, there's nothing strange.
The man who used to hang out with the Black Crowes is just a boring eater.
I am.
Imagine that.
I am.
What's your favorite? Okay, so this is question 4, and then we're going to go to why I inserted the grocery store because I just saw the question that I wanted to ask. What is your favorite food stuff to get at Disney in particular?
Oh, just good old hot dog.
Wow.
We go to
that's crazy.
We go occasionally to a restaurant. We used to go when we started first going there. We made restaurants a big deal.
Yeah.
And then we just realized how much time we were having to sit there. I am not very patient at sitting still.
No.
Okay. I mean, even here in Gainesville, I get my food to go. If I go anywhere, I like to go home.
Kindred spirits, us too. Me too.
Do not
I like to go home.
sitting and dealing with waiters and waitresses. I feel like I'm just wasting time. So we'll still go once or twice when we go down there to eat at a nice sit-down restaurant. But we usually go to Brown Derby at Hollywood Studios.
Okay, yeah.
We get the Cobb salad, and that's about it. We split that Cobb salad. My wife and I split meals when we're down there because meals are pretty heavy.
and meals are pretty expensive.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, so now tie it all back together. Again, used to work at Publix.
Yep.
If you were banned from your local grocery store, let's just go ahead and call it the Publix. If you were banned from the Publix, what would be the most likely reason?
Maybe still helping customers. And,
I'm sure going to leave it at steal.
Pulling carts in. I still push carts in occasionally. It's like I see stuff that needs to happen.
And that's like the human thing to do.
But they may come and tell me, hey, you're not on the clock. You're not in uniform.
They don't want no liability here.
Yeah, we don't need you fronting up our product just because you once worked here. I'd probably still be working there. I enjoyed Sundays. It gave me time. I'd see you in there, see Coach in there. It gave me kind of time stocking the shelves to think about the week's workouts coming up ahead. It was just
you always seem super happy to be there.
Yeah, it was my time.
Yeah.
I'd probably still be working there, but what happened was they brought a manager in that, started kind of micromanaging me.
Yikes.
And I felt like I didn't need to be micromanaged.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
I'm John Richard Corbett Jr.
Well, the whole reason I started there, and quick story, I stepped out of my marketing jobs when Circle K bought my company, Kangaroo, was that company, a lot of them locally here, and jumped over to Publix thinking I'd get into management there. I always admired Publix, Chick-fil-A because they were privately owned companies. And so I started working there. They dragged their feet about that time. Coach Kirk was the AD. He got me on board with Coach Miller, who was the cross-country coach. And then Coach Lindsay came on board and said, hey, stick around, because Gainesville High School had been talking with me. And, over time, I just scaled my work back to Sundays only. And then I realized, one day I don't need it. I really don't need it. I need a little time at home.
So I give Coach Corbett a hard time anytime he decides to wear his public shirt to work, because we don't wear green around here.
Ooh, no.
But do you ever put that on and just like roam the aisles at Publix and just like start acting like you still work there?
No, I threw those things away.
Thank you.
Yeah, I threw those things away.
Yeah.
And I worry about our little Publix on Thompson Bridge. It may not last long with all the other Publixes.
And if for no other reason than I know an old woman ripe to sue it because she just fell in the produce department. No, I'm kidding. That's not going to happen. That is absolutely not going to happen. She fell over her own feet, nothing that was there. But nonetheless, I worry about, I don't worry about it just because I tend to use the Limestone. I like the Publix out at Limestone.
Yeah.
It's a nice one. And I really can't believe we're into this conversation now either. But
Favorite grocery store.
Favorite grocery store. But yeah, there are grocery stores popping up all over the place. I mean, have y'all seen this Kroger they built across from Mundy Mill?
Well, and I thought that's when you were going into that question. I thought you were going to ask me if you got banned from Publix, where would you go?
Where would you go?
It would be Kroger.
It
Would not be Kroger. I go to Kroger to buy the gift cards when they're 4 points for every $1. And
That's a good deal.
hey, you know what I buy? Speaking of Disney, I buy Disney gift cards to pay my annual pass. Then I get those 1,000 points. I'll buy a $250 gift card. Get the 1,000 points. Wife and I go down, fill up our tanks. $1 off on gas.
Listen,
Once a month.
you just got to plan for everything. Is what I'm saying.
All of that stuff.
You plan everything.
I do. If I was banned from Publix, so since Coach said that, Costco.
Oh,
Yeah.
Costco's.
I love Costco.
Oh my gosh.
That's where I buy the team snacks.
I love Costco. I love Sam's Club. Yes, anything wholesale, I'm there. I know you love Sam's Club. Don't roll your eyes.
I've never even been to Costco. Sam's.
You've never been to Costco?
Never once been to
That
Costco.
is like my
I
Disney.
am committed.
It's awesome.
I am loyal to Sam's.
Oh, that's sweet.
I know. That's my nature.
I'm loyal to KDB, and she likes it all. So that's where we are. Coach Corbett, always enjoy talking to you, especially this go-round. The
barely
things
talked
we
cross
found
country.
out.
You never know what you're going to find out on Behind the G.
Yeah.
And in a couple weeks, when we have you back on to discuss how things are going over the course of the season, any other little surprises you want to dole out, feel free to do it. I'm still blown away by the Black Crows thing.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
It's actually kind of hard to handle for me.
Hey, there you go.
See what I did
Put it
there?
in. I was impressed that Coach Lindsay went to Widespread Panic. Another great group.
I was impressed myself.
Yeah, we were all impressed.
I'm
He
more a
went to
Grateful
Widespread.
Dead fan, but I do like Widespread Panic.
I enjoy some Widespread because, life's grand.
Yeah, there you go.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Coach Lindsay and I are going to wrap this up. Coach Corbett, love having you on. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Looking for the ultimate game day grub? Johnny's New York style pizza has you covered. From fresh hand-tossed pies and from-scratch pasta dishes to wings and loaded calzones, Johnny's brings championship flavor with every single bite. Grab a victory meal after the game at their Gainesville location on Jesse Jewell Parkway or order for takeout to feed the whole family at johnnyspizza.com. Johnny's, the official pizza of Behind the G and Red Elephants everywhere. I want to mention as we wrap up this week's show that next week's football season opener at Buford is a whiteout for us Red Elephants. And R&E Sports has the gear you need to get this specific fit right. Nobody needs to be looking a mess on national television. We are on ESPN. So head to R&E Sports on Thompson Bridge Road. Tell Nate and the gang that KDB and Adam sent you. But maybe just say Adam because they don't like me too much. So, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell them that you can get a discount too. I mean, I don't know if it'll work or not, but you might as well try.
You could try. The worst they could say is no, you don't. But you still get your gear. But yeah, that's the place to go, folks. They've got white shirts with Gainesville and with football and with all the good stuff you need to make sure that fits right for the Buford game. So before we preview what's coming up next, Corbett is a whole onion, layer after layer after layer. The things he said, I didn't know he was who he is. I had no idea.
Well, the Disney thing it's something like he's not joking. Like Dr. Williams, their family goes to Disney a lot, and I don't go to Disney as much now. But like grew up in Florida,
Right.
and in Florida the annual pass is like super cheap. So that was something that my family did all the time. And y'all talked about the holidays and this and that, but like we literally went the week of Thanksgiving every year.
Really?
And the week of Thanksgiving used to be like their empty week. It is no longer the empty week.
I don't think they have empty weeks anymore.
It is not a good time to go, but we went every year and camped out. We stayed at the campground there on site and took our tents and grilled out all of our meals, and it was our like family week at Disney. So Corbett and I've always kind of bonded over the Disney piece of things. So
it's wildly interesting.
It's interesting. You just don't. I mean, you wouldn't think that from him.
No, you would. No, he is a. Listen, as you all know, we talk to coaches ad nauseum around here. We've got great relationships in our athletic department, probably the best it's ever been. We talk about everything, but there are just some things that, and this is part of the reason we do this show. There are some things you get him behind the mic and you just like talking to him about his father.
Yes.
And then also why the Black Crows thing has never come up. Like that is something
he's been holding out on us.
He's been holding out. Like you should hang your hat on that.
Keep peeling the onion.
And what was funny is we go off air, and I'm still asking questions because then KDB's curiosity has kicked in. It's not, it ain't about the show. And so I'm still asking questions. And he said what was the really funny part was Chris Robinson would go to rap shows. Like he went to rap shows, and he said, and then he becomes a thing with Black Crows, and he's like, yeah, I grew up listening to Allman Brothers. Like, no,
I mean, you can listen to both.
You can, you can, and he does a certain element of rap. And anyway, we're not going to get into it, but just an absolute onion. What a wildly interesting conversation with Corbett, a man I literally talk to every day, 5 times a day. Still have wildly interesting conversations. That's what Behind the G is all about. Next week, Santavius Bryant.
It's time.
It's time. It's time to get this football thing rolling. So we're going to have him on and see where he feels his team is coming out of their only scrimmage, but also, check his vibes, as it were, headed into an opener that, the likes of which, man, have we ever seen around here? The fact that it's going to be on ESPN takes it to a whole other level. The level of both programs where they are now, Buford coming off a state and national championship. And we played for a state championship and have had some success. We've stacked successful years. So this is wildly unlike when Bruce Miller first started playing Buford prior to the Deshaun days and then the Deshaun Watson days. Where Gainesville was still up and coming and Buford was established. I mean, it was shown in the scores.
Yeah.
Now it's I don't know that there's been a bigger one.
No, certainly not in the last 10 years that I've been here. I mean, this is something it's been on the back of my mind and on my calendar in pencil for a long time of like, when is the right time to do it? And again, at the end of the day, to be the best, you got to beat the best.
No
and
doubt.
Right now, there is no doubt they are the best. They're going into this with the number 1 ranking in the nation. We're number 2 in our classification. I haven't seen what our national ranking is. We may not be right now. That'll change eventually. But 2 incredibly, storied programs. We fight in a lot of different things. At the end of the day, we're both city schools. Buford has set the standard on how to get it done. So I think this is going to be fabulous. I know the Red Elephant Nation is going to show up.
Yep.
Certainly for a multitude of reasons, but a lot of it's going to be because it's Buford. I hate that we're playing at 5:00. I mean, I think that's going to be a difficulty on both.
But at
teams.
least it's on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's both teams. That time frame was set by ESPN. We didn't have much of a choice in that one. But it's going to be a great game. It's going to be exciting. Have gotten to know Brian Appling a good bit over the last 10 years. It's funny. Those two have played each other. Coach Bryant and Bryant Appling have played each other a few times. Grayson, Buford, that kind of thing. So it'll be different for it to be Gainesville. I guess he's used to playing Buford. We're not.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited about it. I'm excited for. Football season get kicked off,
no doubt,
and us, play the scrimmage, tomorrow night, and then let's get it going. The toughest non-regional schedule in the state. I'll put it up against anybody. We wanted to test ourselves and be ready for region schedule, so we're doing it.
There's nothing like playing an opponent in which that there's no love lost in the matchup, but also, and two things can be true here. There is a ton of respect.
Absolutely.
And so, I think that, again, just like Corbett with his layers, this matchup has got an incredible amount of layers. And I'm excited. Look, I just love to watch the Red Elephants play, whatever we're doing. But I'm really excited about getting to Buford and watching our boys go up against the Woofs, as it were. Folks, if you're not doing it already, make sure that you're following us on social media at Go Red Elephants. Log on to our website. We've got the complete roster and coaches, along with a beautiful bio about Santavius Bryant on our website as it stands. So go get yourself familiar with our football players. GoRedElephants.com. And follow our show on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon. Of course, Behind the G is the name of it. Wherever you listen, make sure that you're following the show so that next Friday, when the next episode drops, you get a little notification about it and can go ahead and listen. We appreciate you being with us, as always. We have a ton of fun talking to you and showing you our personalities, showing you our coaches' personalities, pulling the curtain back on Big Red Athletics. This has been Behind the G.